Yeah, defeating the Armos gives you arrows. There's a much higher likelihood of getting arrows, and you can get up to 10 arrows from defeating them. I like how there's a shortcut to Sahasrahla where you jump down the ledges a whole bunch. Yeah, he basically told you that Link is descended from a bunch of cool knights that defended the sages. And he tells you about the location of the next item we're gonna get, which is good because it's mandatory for beating the game. So it's good that you're told to get it right after getting an item. These guys jump out are pretty annoying because they hurt you if they jump at you, and it's a top-down game. So it's annoying how they can still hurt you if they jump up at you. Even though it's weird because Zelda 1 specifically programmed it so that when enemies were flying above you, they couldn't hurt you. Well, actually they didn't, and that's why the P-hat sucked in that game. But my point is, they really should program it so that when enemies are high in the air, they can't hurt you. Because it shouldn't be able to hurt you from touch damage if they're above you and thus can't touch you at all. But yeah, you attack the grass, you cut down the grass that they're going to land on, and they can give you a whole bunch of stuff, like a heart or I think rupees, and they can even give you a fairy, which is pretty cool, but I think it's rare. Yeah, some thieves can give you money. I think as a bribe to not rat them out. Although they never tell you that's... I hate the wallet limits in Zelda. I really do. Like, why did they think it was a good idea to limit it to only having almost 1,000 rupees as the maximum? Why? There's no excuse for that. I guess it was technological limitations, but they kept that tradition going. It's just really annoying, and I hate when rupees go to waste. And this game really sucks at having things to spend for the entire game. I mean, it doesn't have nearly enough rupee sinks. And I hate when money goes to waste, because you pick it up but your wallet's full, and there's nothing you can spend money on but potions. If you hold down the B button and you walk into cracked walls, they'll make a different sound from when you do that with normal walls. So that's another indicator that you can bomb them. But it seems really redundant because there's a crack in the wall already, so... Yeah, that's the good bee, and it has some pretty interesting uses. And I love the way it looks, like the white trail behind it. Although I kind of wonder how it's surviving stuck inside of a fountain. I mean, how's it getting enough food and air? I guess it's magically kept alive. And remember, the ice rod is mandatory to beat the game. It doesn't really get useful until the Dark World, though. Yeah, and this is why the Pegasus boots are mandatory. You need them to get an item that is mandatory for progressing with the game. And to get a key later on to beat a dungeon. Yeah, you can dash into certain trees and they'll drop certain things. Apples restore health, and I like how Link Between Worlds added an animation where you're eating the apples and you have a crunching sound. That's good. And obviously you can dash into certain boulders piled on top of each other, and you can get underground grottos that way. Yeah, it's really annoying how you can't, if you just dash into him, then you get stopped for absolutely no reason. So you have to walk into him and then start dashing. You can actually talk to him by dashing into him from the right, but it's really difficult, so dash into him from the left. Although he just tells you to dash into trees, and I guess that's how you're supposed to know. And thank you, salesman, for giving me money that the game doesn't really give me many opportunities to spend. I hate it when that happens. I hate it when a fairy disappears. And like, fairies are so annoying to catch in this game. Yeah, this is the only tree in the game that drops bombs. And I think the green bombs take a lot longer to pull up than the blue bombs. Oh yeah, something I hate about the bombs in this game is that they can hurt you. I mean the bombs that you personally own, they can hurt you. They introduce friendly fire to the bombs, and I hate that. I know it's... yeah, dashing into that gives you a fairy, but I collected it right away before it could show up. And I don't know why they programmed fairies to disappear after a while. That's so stupid. And rupees and hearts can disappear after a while if you don't collect them fast enough too. And I think that's really stupid. Why do they do that? The vast majority of the anti-fairies in this game can be turned into fairies. I'll be pointing out the ones that can't. And if you get hit by these things, they take away some of your magic. It's easy to get hit by them, although if you carefully observe them, you can predict where they're going to show up. You can predict the path they're going to take. So I love and hate them at the same time, because they give you an easy supply of fairies, and they're in practically every dungeon, which is very good. But at the same time, it's easy for them to hit you a whole bunch. Yeah, that's not good enough for reward fish. Because you can actually get more than one reward from these fish. Yeah, I hate how you make this chest inaccessible if you try to use that thing. Although, I like the concept of a building where you pull a lever and then it drains the water outside of it. That's pretty cool. Yeah, it's kind of difficult to carry the fish all the way to where I'm carrying it, because if you get hit, then you automatically throw the fish in front of you, and the fish lands on top of anything, including stuff that you can't walk onto. And it's really annoying when the fish lands on top of mountains and stuff, because then you can't pick it back up and you have to go all the way back and get another fish. So that sucks. But I consider it to be a side quest in the game, so I did it to show it off. Why not? Why can't you enter with someone following you? That's stupid. If Zelda is following behind you, then you can enter whatever cave you want. Why does it have to make a special exception for the thief? And I hate these vultures, by the way. Like, they're really annoying. And if you run into the cacti, then you'll get a whole heart of damage. I hate the desert because of that. I hate everything about it I hate. The cactus, yeah. This is Agana, and he goes on this whole spiel about the Great Cataclysm and the Golden Land, and you being the hero of Hyrule. I think he's one of the descendants of the Seven Sages. But if you already have the Book of Mudra when you talk to him, then that's all he'll say. I'll show off his dialogue. I'll show off the rest of his dialogue in extra part, but I didn't feel like talking to him. I forgot that he had dialogue you could miss out on. I remember when I was playing this in front of my cousin, I made the screen linger pretty long on the Link praying, and he complained about it. So that's another memory I have of the game. But yeah, I hate moving through the desert because there's cactuses, there's cacti everywhere, and there's these annoying enemies that go out of the sand and they follow you around and they hit you, and everything about the desert is annoying. And the Beamos, the Desert Palace introduces my least favorite enemies in the game. The Beamos. Because they're invincible. and they shoot you so suddenly, and the lasers get at you so quickly, so instantly, and there's so many times when you're gonna get hit by that thing. Later Zelda games, you'll be able to hit it with an arrow, but for now, these things just feel really cheap. And this room is completely pointless because there's no reward at all for defeating all the enemies in this room. It's not like, I mean, even Zelda 1 got that right. When it locked you into a room and made you fight enemies, it tended to reward you with treasure. But that room's just there for the sake of completion. A lot of dungeons have white Armo statues. They look like 16-bit versions of the Armo statues in Zelda 1, and they look a lot better. I wish they had used that graphic for the Armo enemies instead. Yeah, don't just Pegasus dash past that section. You're probably gonna run into the balls, and if you attack the balls with your sword, you don't damage them, but you hear a clicking sound, and you get knocked back a little bit. And dashing into them counts as hitting them with your sword, but you're still gonna end up getting hit yourself. And this is the Power Glove, which lets you pick up stones, white stones. Those enemies that rise out of the sand are annoying because if you walk up too close to them, you get sucked in, and you can't really escape from them until they disappear. Yeah, I hate how you can't tell which blocks you can push and in which directions. Again, it's so trial and error. And the fairy fountain is good, but it feels kind of pointless because there's so many... Well, there aren't that many anti-fairies in that dungeon, so... But this game isn't all that difficult, so... I hate these rooms. Like, I really hate the floor tiles that fly at you. And every time I go into one of these rooms in this dungeon, I completely forget which jar you pick up to get a key. And so I'm wandering all over the place looking for a key, and I'm expected to dodge floor tiles that are flying me at the same time. These torches are completely pointless. There's absolutely no reward to lighting them, so it feels like a waste of development time. And this section is pretty cheap because it's really easy to get hit by the BMO's laser when you're just standing around. So don't try to collect all of the jars. I like the bowl with devil horns design on the floor. This game has a lot of neat graphical touches, like the torches. They actually bothered to put torches on the wall. In the actual game, the entire screen would shake for a while until the wall started moving to represent an earthquake going on. But in the actual footage I'm showing you, there is no vibration because of the video compression or the recording method or something like that. So, which is good because just seeing the screen shake that much hurts my eyes, and I hate it. If you attack these guys with the ice rod, you can kill them in 2 hits. But sometimes it can be pretty difficult to accurately hit them with the ice rod. It's kind of down to luck. But I hardly think that means that it's not worth trying to use the ice rod, because the ice rod deals so much more damage than a sword swipe. And yeah, it feels really cheap that they send 8 rocks out at you in 8 directions when they're near death, because it feels really difficult to dodge them, and you're expected to attack them, and sometimes because you're standing really close up to them, it feels like you're a sitting duck for their next attack. So you got the pendant of power? Okay, why is power associated with the color blue? Usually it's associated with the color red. That's early installment weirdness. That's weird. See you in the next part.